Okay, Conversations with Chavis started when I decided to do a body of work to commemorate the artists who had passed. Barbara Chavis and Smokey Brown were two of the artists, but Barbara was my mentor, and I didn't understand what that meant for years, but I realized that when I became a photographer, that her and Kojo Kamaru were the people who encouraged me. And Kojo would say that I was a photographer, and Barbara would say that I was an artist. And after I gave up photography, I started to do paintings and assemblages and anything else that I felt my hands and my heart spoke to. And a lot of people would tell me that my work somehow reminded them of Barbara's. And I had no idea, because when Barbara was living, I was just a photographer. Well, I won't say just, but I was a photographer. So as I was doing this piece, putting together this assemblage, it seems as though I heard Barbara speak to me in terms of direction. Put a mark here, put a spot there, put a color here, and I moved through the piece, and I felt like she was speaking to me. So this piece became Conversations with Chavis, and I felt like she led me through it as much as she encouraged me to be the artist that I am. Now make sure it's on.
Oh, it's on this time.
So we talking about Pondexter Village. My memories of Pondexter Village are those of a child whose cousins came to get them every weekend, because I didn't have brothers and sisters, and so my cousins, they were probably 15 or 16 girls that came to get me and babysit with me on the weekends. And I go to Pondexter Village, which seemed like a long ways from me, which wasn't, because it was maybe a mile or so. I lived on 18th and Mount Vernon. They lived on Champion Avenue. And Pondexter Village was a place of fun and safety and community. And people knew each other, people cared about each other. I often got spankings because my cousin and I would hang out the windows at night and drop out little stuff out the windows. But it was such a fun place to be, such a neighborhood to be in. And before it became Pondexter Village, it was called the Blackberry Patch. And my mother grew up there, and she often talked about going to Champion Avenue. She talked about truant officers who kept kids in trouble. If they didn't go to school, she picked them up and took them to their parents. Their parents could get in trouble. But it was a stable community of people, of blacks, caring and for each other and knowing each other.